Welcome to Coffee with B. In today's episode, we are looking forward to take you through a discussion about the evolution of e-commerce, including innovation, branding, and future growth. So for this discussion, we have got with us a very special guest, Mr. Dulith Herath, founder and chairman of Kapruka Holdings PLC. Kapruka is Sri Lanka's first and largest e-commerce enterprise. Its core business is retail e-commerce in Sri Lanka, and in addition, it has ventured into last-mile delivery, cross-border e-com exports, SME marketplace, payment solutions, and much more. Hi, Dulith. So we all know that e-commerce is a rapidly growing and evolving space. So what initially motivated you to enter into this market? And can you walk us through the moment where you knew your idea could transform into a successful business? And also just to add to that, were there any specific problems or gaps in the market you felt that traditional retail wasn't addressing? And how did you position your business to solve this?
6 questions in one question. So the initial part of it is, again, e-commerce is nothing else but digital retailing. So retail business has been there for donkeys years, right? So it's only a matter of digitalizing it. So it's not like some sort of a transformative new business. It's just that instead of, you having a retail store, we have a warehouse. Instead of having a retail, a store front, you have a website. Instead of having a cashier, you have a payment. So those are the pieces that we built, and the whole world was it. So it was a movement. I think I was the first mover in Sri Lanka. Even I think before India kind of really got into the bandwagon of it. So I had a very early start. So with the early start, the problems that come with it was always the logistics, and even up to today, Sri Lanka's postal service, etc., is not really ready for e-commerce. So we had to kind of build the wheels of e-commerce ourselves. Which later became a strength actually, because now we have total control over our logistics. We don't outsource our deliveries; we just do it entirely in house. So those capabilities came because we early started. So I think the main point is that whatever a business, the first movers have certain advantages and disadvantages. So as a first mover, the advantages is what I mentioned, because we have built the wheels, we have total control over it. I guess the disadvantage is probably we kind of move too slow, because early, not much competition. We are also kind of learning. We took it easy, but I think if I start Kapruka today, I would have been starting it with a lot of new capital, very rapid growth.
Yeah, that's right. So now the e-commerce industry is like incredibly competitive with many platforms offering similar products. So how did you manage to distinguish your brand from the competition? And what key strategies did you implement to create a unique identity that truly resonates to your target audience?
So your question is about how do we manage competition?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, there's no new competition in e-commerce. Every retail business, don't you think it is already ultra competitive? You go to a Food City, to a Glowmark, to a Spa, aren't they very competitive? When you go to a Dell and a G-Flock and a clothing, aren't they competitive? Even if you go to the Polar, it's competitive with the other Polar, right? So there is no new competition that e-commerce is handling. So I want to clear that it's just competition is competition. I think if you rephrase that question and ask how are we trying to distinguish ourselves from retail business and be competitive, then I think it's the choice that we can give. It's easy for e-commerce company to give a choice. So imagine I want to sell drones today, toy drones and professional drones. If I am to start a drone business on a retail shop, imagine the overheads of that. Stock, I had to have the supply, I had to find the place, I had to have the parking, I had to have the staff, I had to have the brand, all that, right? Here it's just get a drone guy to add their product to it. So within 24 hours, we have a drone shop. It's very easy to scale an e-commerce platform once you have the platform running, bringing these brand new categories and also removing categories is very easy. Right? Those are not selling within 2 months. I will just remove it with absolutely like pretty much zero cost to us by removing it. If we had opened a retail store, I had to shut it down. I had to, find jobs of these employees, all that. So I think that's the competitive edge that comes with e-commerce.
Right. So, will you also be able to share more about the recent rebranding of Kapruka and how it aligns with your overall vision?
Yeah, that's a big one. So Kapruka is going through a total rebranding. Uh, it was a very hard pill to swallow as the founder. Because when we were, we had to remove the free. And so why the reason why we did it, I think the reason for everybody's asking, why did you do it? I mean, there was nothing wrong with the brand. Everybody liked the brand. Why are you reinventing something that's already working? The point is that we have brought in a new platform called the Kapruka Partner Center where we allow other people to now sell on Kapruka.
Right.
But it's different from the other platforms in Sri Lanka. I won't get into details of that. But because of that, Kapruka is getting a whole barrage of new categories that we never carried before. I mean, these can be from microwaves to exercise equipment to car parts to helmets to all sort of new categories that you normally will not go to Kapruka to look for are now on Kapruka. So I need a kind of a reset on my customers' mindset about us. So you will be like now, if I tell you, look, we are selling helmets at Kapruka, you will be like, oh, what? I won't look for helmets in Kapruka, right?
Yeah.
But how do I get you to come and like revisit us and look at the new categories? So by rebranding, I think a lot of companies do this. I remember when Keels went from red to green.
Yeah.
You would like pay an extra visit just to see the new outlet, right? And you discover, oh, they have this new stuff. So that was the main reason. And also, the new Gen Z is my future client base, and they resonate with more simpler brand. They are not the brand. The font matters, the color matters. All those things really matter. When I started some long time ago, didn't put too much science into this. But today there's a meaningful purple, there's a meaningful yellow. So that's why. So it's more for engineered movement for the growth of Kapruka or to visualize these new categories.
Right. So then moving on, like how has technology helped you scale your business? For example, like are there any specific tech solutions like AI, machine learning, or automation that have been game changers for your company? And looking ahead, are there any emerging technologies that you are like kind of excited to integrate into your platform to stay ahead of the competition?
Yeah, so technology is a key part, obviously. You pull the internet plug and gone, right? So it's all about technology. But if you look at the edge of what we are trying to build is, everybody talks about AI, I think, but my main worry is that AI is going to come between me and my customer. So let's say you are my customer, I am Kapruka. There's going to be this agent sitting in between us now. Because I will be telling my agent, so you will be, sorry, you are the customer. You will have an assistant who is so smart at shopping. You will be telling the assistant, okay, get me this grocery list. And the assistant will decide, oh, there's a deal going for something else. So the agent will decide how to execute. So I, as the business, now have to deal with the agent and make the agent choose me because I have lost my connection to you now. Because you are always telling him, like, if friends who has PAs. I mean, I have a PA. If I'm ordering lunch, normally I don't bother going through my Uber Eats and I will just call her and say, get me some lunch. So what if everybody has a PA now? Who's going to do that?
Yeah.
That PA, the AI PA is going to answer. So we are building the connections to these upcoming AI agents and like even Siri. So Kapruka is going to be Siri compliant. So we'll be connecting to Siri and being ready when Siri AI comes up. And when people say, okay, order me flowers, Siri will choose us. Right. So that's what we are really gearing Kapruka to the future. I don't want to get into all these technology stuff, but if I have to pick one that connected to AI agents, second is becoming more and more better at knowing what you want more than you know what you want. Right? Sometimes customers sometimes don't really know what they want until we show it to them. So there is lot of AI that you can use to predict your behavior based on similar customers, just like how the TikTok algorithms and things like that. No? Did you know that the people who drink Coke likes Nike, than people who drink Pepsi likes Puma?
All right,
It
that's
has no connection,
yes.
but that's how it is. So it's really that kind of magic you can do when you have a lot of data and these large language.
All right, thanks for that. And also moving on, like in an online marketplace where customers can switch platforms with just a click. So building trust and loyalty is essential, right? So how has your company focused on creating long-term relationships with customers? And also, like, what strategies have been the most successful in ensuring customer retention?
So unfortunately, e-commerce customers are not that loyal.
Uh-huh.
It's a known fact. As you correctly said, it's a click away, no?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's not like, yeah, exactly. It's not like the corner shop because it's a corner shop, you are loyal to it.
Yes.
Actually, not because you are loyal to it, it's a corner shop because of that you are loyal to it, right? But the click is like one click, next click, right? So you that because of that. So I have found that giving exceptional service and absolutely no questions asked, returns, and no white glove delivery. We use vans and we put two people in a van for the delivery. So we really don't cut corners on the service level at Kapruka. Even if you're ordering a card of Panadols, we will be delivering in a van, in a bag, by two people, one guy driving the van for the parking, other guy ringing the bell. So we just don't put it in a bike and do it. So we try to maintain that. That's one thing. Second is about memberships. I think why Amazon is loyal is actually more than Amazon service. It's because of Prime. Right? So once you get a membership, you are like you are kind of that is the go-to place. You stop price hunting. You just because you get free delivery and all that. So we are bringing in Kapruka Prime, similar thing on recently, and that's how you can keep them loyal.
Right. So, like once again, the e-commerce landscape is evolving, and sustainability and social impact are becoming like major priorities for businesses and consumers alike. So, what is your overall vision for the future of your company in terms of growth?
Growth. So I think most of us know Kapruka from a retail point, but if you walk across this building, you'll see there are so many other departments. We do businesses on on the internet, which is nothing to do with retail. For example, we are the e-distributor for major tea brands in Sri Lanka, where we take the tea into Western markets and list it on Amazon and eBay and those platforms. So we are an e-distributor for those brands. And we have our own export channels, and we are doing Amazon imports into Sri Lanka. If you want like a laptop from Amazon, you just bring it down. So those sort of other additional areas are where we see a lot of growth. Like for example, if you just become the overall e-commerce e-distributor for Ceylon tea, and if you have about at least 20% of the market, that's like another 2x Kapruka. So we see as retail is a natural growth, that is our bread and butter, and it will anyway run. But my time I'm putting mostly on these new channels, and also another channel that we are going after is B2B e-commerce. Did you know B2B e-commerce is 8 times more than B2C? Just Google it up. I mean, it's a known spread. So that means if I can online have, let's say, if you buy 200 laptops from me, I'll give it to you for this price. And it could be just one customer buying 200 laptops. That would have been my 1 month sale. It happened in one day. Right? So there's a lot of opportunity. Just to again to summarize, we do a lot of non-traditional e-commerce, but e-related stuff like this export of tea, etc. And also we are focused on B2B.
Right. So we have come to almost the end of the conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to add as a piece of information for our viewers?
In general, or
yes,
like,
in general, yes, with regards to e-commerce in your company and everything.
Right. So I think Sri Lanka, due to the lack of too much competition, it is a blessing for a lot of young people to get onto e-commerce. So when you want to get onto e-commerce, you don't need a website, you don't need all that. You already probably know a lot of friends of yours who are just selling on Instagram, who are just selling on Facebook, and make a good living. I My message is for them to keep thriving and keep building it up. Come on to platforms like ours. So you have two channels. Like if you are selling on Instagram, also you are selling on Kapruka. And now you are selling so much on Kapruka, Kapruka will give you a call and say, look, why don't you now sell it on Amazon through us? So the growth potential is huge in Sri Lanka for e-commerce. I would not give this advice if we were talking in India, if we were talking in a more developed country, because there's so many people doing it. So you'll have to undercut prices. All that. That is not a problem here in Sri Lanka. It's a nice blank sheet for people to get on it.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, Dulith, for taking your time to join us today. I would say it was a very informative, meaningful, and an insightful conversation. And also once again, I would like to thank you for your contribution to our segment. Tea or coffee?
The duh is the answer for that, right? Coffee.
Right. What's your go-to comfort food?
Comfort food?
Yes.
Pizza.
If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I would probably talk to myself 10 years ago.
All right, interesting. What's a skill you've always wanted to learn?
I want to get good at shooting.
Right. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Or Shawshank Redemption. Yeah.
Interesting. And finally, dream travel destination.
I'm not a big traveler. I like to stay home in Sri Lanka.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
All right.
So having said that, we have something small for you from Sentin Asset Management as a token of appreciation.
Thank you. You have to open this?
Yeah, you can do it now or even later, that's fine.
I hope it's a wine bottle. Right?
Yeah. So with that, we have come to the end of today's conversation. I will be back with another insightful personality in my next segment. Until then, take care.